Welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to look back through 2022 month by month, from starting with January right through to December, and this also includes trips to France in the summer to gigantic Rose Lake. After getting back into fishing probably about 3-4 years ago, having neglected the sport since I was about 18-19 years old, I wanted to take the guesswork out of my angling. I was one of those anglers that just went to any lake, fished any sort of baits, and probably the wrong rigs for the situation or scenario that I found myself in. So I decided in December 2021 I would get the Farnham Angling Society ticket, which is where I am now, so fast, short, and target only one complex, that being Stillwater Front and Back Lake, located in Ashvale near Frimley Pits. The stock in this lake is relatively unknown, but rumour has it that there is some 30s in here. I knew this was a good starting point just to cement my decision. The lakes are beautiful, as you've probably seen in some of my videos. The lakes are unbelievable. They've got a little something for everybody, whether that's fishing snags like I am today, around to my left, margin spots, open water, lily pads, you name it, this lake's probably got it. Now that I had that permanent dwelling as far as the lake goes, then I decided to stick with one bait company for the whole year, and for this I chose CC Moore, and I used their live system and Pacific tuna baits, mixing them up from live system in the winter times through to a mix, and then finishing off with the Pacific tuna in the end of the year. It seems to work quite well. Just those two decisions streamlined my angling and allowed me to get to know the lake and bite times and the hot spots on that lake as well. And also this kind of like built confidence in everything I was doing, and as you're aware, having confidence in your approach and your tactics is absolutely key. The final decision was to stick to just 2 rigs for the whole year, those being an Illusion D. Again, if you watch my channel, you know that I love an Illusion D rig, and the Ronnie rig. So essentially that meant I had a rig to present a bottom bait and a rig to present a top. Either can do rafters as well, which is a good in-between method. So not only did all my decisions streamline my fishing, but it made it more cost effective and I was more efficient. So the reason it was being cost effective is I wasn't going out trying new rigs, new baits. I knew one bait that I needed and used, so I could buy it in bulk, and then I knew the very minimum kit that I needed, tackles that I needed to fish those type of rigs. Now that I had my parameters set for the angling for the whole year, let's start with January, my very first trip to Stillwater.
Well, here I am, Stillwater Front Lake. First time on the new Society water, very first time. I picked peg 18, as you can see, bivvy set up, peg 18, just 24 hours. Rods are out on PVA bags with 8mm pop-ups on, and we're gonna stay there for about 2.5 hours and see what happens. Spoke to another angler, he's fished on the bottom since Friday and caught a couple of bream. So yeah, so if this doesn't work, maybe swap to the zigs, but it's only 6 foot of water, so not much room to play with a zig. And there we have it, that is one zig ready to go. We're gonna do exactly the same now, and then that'll be me ready to go for tonight. Well, last hour left, seen some bubbling in the left margin, so gently placed my snowman rig, re-dipped it in the booster, and then just placed it in the margin. Couple of boils over the top for the last hour of fishing. We'll see if anything comes from that.
As you can see from that short clip, I was still indecisive and just trying anything to nick a bite, even into the closing hour, which saw me throw a rod into the margin for the last hour or so. If I remember correctly, I just went to the first semi-decent looking swim just out of the excitement to just get fishing really on the lake. which again in hindsight probably wasn't the best idea. However, on to the next session, which takes me to the back leg into swim 21, and this session graces me my very first carp of the year, of the campaign, along with a few bream which absolutely plagued me throughout this whole year on these two legs. Let's take a look.
To the club campaign. Today, 1st of January, so the start of the full year on the club water. We're here at Stillwater Back Lake, and that's where the campaign's going to go from back leg and front leg throughout the whole year. Today we're on the back leg and we're fishing just up to the snags overhead the tree. Got 2 rods on the spot, fishing some crump, maggots and some maggot hook baits. The reason I didn't start the video earlier because I'm only here for a day session and I just wanted to get the rods out as quickly as I could, so then here we are now. The rods are out fishing and the weather's looking good. Wind when I got here was coming into us, so again that's a good thing, and we'll just see what the session brings. I'll keep you updated. So this is the first time I've used maggots in my carping career, let's say. No liners. We're even fishing really tight lines, trying to fish for those liners as well. There's one shore to the right here you can't really see, but I'll show you later, and this is just loads and loads of trees in the water, so it's massively snaggy. And I think one showed there this morning as we were setting up. I wasn't too sure about it, so that could be an option, putting one on the outside of that snag, but for now we're just going to concentrate on the overhanging tree. Well, after a little bit of an eventful hour or so, one rig caught up in the bait boat, the other rig still down, moved to the right hand side in the margins where I seen one show earlier, and that is the one that's just gone off, and here we are. Nice scaly mirror, 14 pound, give or take, but yeah, that's the campaign. With carp especially, often a good one. We'll get this one back and we'll try and get some more.
Still fairly indecisive, but trying out some well-known river tactics with maggot top pop-ups seem to work for me on this session. January draws to an end and February is here, which sees me start the midweek overnighters, finishing work, going straight to the bank, finishing, going straight to the work. So as I watch these videos back now, I remember how much time and effort went into my angling, not even picking swim, but just to get the days on the bank without having an effect on weekend, on my weekend life, which is all for family. Just starting to try and piece that puzzle together of what it is to crack a lake. So let's go and have a look at something. So it's the 1st of February today, so it only seems right that we go fishing, right? So I've finished work early, around 2 o'clock. I've got to the lake for about 3, so I'm going to do till probably around 7 in the morning. So what's that, 15, 16 hours fishing. I'm going to, all my stuff loaded on the trolley just for the overnight. I'm going to walk around the lake now and then see where's best to fish, either the front lake or the back lake. I do want to try and target an open water, but I'll see if there's any signs out there before I make any hasty decisions. So yeah, let's get walking. Just had a quick walk around the lake, and I think I'm going to fish peg 1 on the back lake. So this peg, if no one comes, that is, it's pretty quiet anyway, so if no one comes, it commands a lot of water. So I've got a westerly wind blowing right across me, blowing into this corner. So I'm definitely going to stick one rod down here once I've had a lead about. And also there's the island in front of me with two kind of like entrances. So I'm going to target probably the one on the right once I've had a lead around, either just in there or just in front of it, because I think that could be some kind of patrol area, but feature as well. Obviously it's a feature, but if the temperature drops, which it isn't likely to do,
they could hold up in that area, and equally, as it's mild conditions, they could just be patrolling around that area looking for food. But maybe the main priority to target is where the wind's blowing, so into this location here. We'll have a lead around and see if I can find a spot. It's 8 o'clock on the 13th of February now, so a couple of weeks since I last was able to come fishing. Today I'm going to do a full day, so right up until it goes dark, but the weather is meant to come in, so first thing it was up is the bivvy. As you can see, I've got the rods ready, made up a little bit of bait, and I'm just about to use the boat and put it in position. So yeah, last session sadly was a blank. I think you joined me when I came straight after work, so I got about maybe 17 hours worth of fishing in, so a little bit less today. But you know, the pressure is almost under 1,000, so that is looking good. But yeah, so it's sadly a blank, but hopefully I'm back on the back lake on peg 21, where I know it's, you know, I've caught from here before, so that's giving me a little bit of confidence. I've gone with white wafter on one rig, and then a white pop-up topped with a little red bait topper on the other one. So I'm just going to use the boat now to put them out. Time for a little update. As you can see, I'm almost just sat in a puddle, fully committed to this weather. On the right hand rod, about a couple of liners, nothing much happening, but I just thought I'd let you know what is going on. The weather is horrendous. The pressure is under 1,000 now. I think it might be 196 or something. So the pressure's dropping, and I had a little look on the lake before, and I'd seen one fish shore just out of the randomly in the open water, but it's a little bit too far away for me to get. And with the weather being like this, it's not something I want to be doing, is moving. I know I should, but just because of how bad the weather is, I'm gonna sit tight. Well, that was extremely emotional to pack away in that rain. I decided to call it early. I mean, I was sat in a puddle pretty much. Good morning. It's the 27th of February now, so this is going to be the last chance to get a carp on a bank. It's about 6:30 in the morning. I just got here. I've got my coffee and my bucket. I'm going to go and do a couple of laps before I decide what swim we're going to set up in. Peace. So as I said, this is February, so I've not had no carp this month so far. This is the last chance to catch a February carp. However, I have been out fishing for pike and perch, and I've had a few of them, just not really documented it. So yeah, so fingers crossed we can get a carp on the bank today. Otherwise, this video could be just a video of blanks for February, which obviously we don't want. But it shows you the reality of winter fishing. You know, you're not always going to catch. You need to put the hours in. I think I've only been fishing 3 or 4 times for carp this month, and that probably totaling maybe 48, 60 hours. So not a lot at all. There's another liner on there. We are into the first fish. Oh no! It could have all been over then. We could have had a carp on the bank. Came off. Oh my god. But I mean, the rods have only been in 20 minutes, so that is it. Honestly, such a positive sign. That was on the right hand rod, fished in the margin, very slow bite as you just heard. I started to take the line and then I hit into it. Oh, that looked pretty good as well. Oh well, get another bomb out, another PVA bag, and let's carry on. After the loss this morning, the rods have been almost motionless all day. It's 4 o'clock now. I've just redone the rods and that'll see me through to the early evening now, so I'll probably pack up 6-ish. Sadly, it's ended in a blank. I wasn't able to put a fish on the bank this month at all, and that one that got away from me this morning could have been the blank saver and the one for the month. But at least I know that this margin does a bite, which is good. So there's fish obviously patrol here, depending on what time of day it is. That could have spooked it and messed the whole thing up for the rest of the day. Who knows?
After a devastating loss late on in February, the whole month ended in a blank, which didn't seem to dent my motivation at all during that period. But as I look forward to March, Jasper, my dog, loses his carp fishing virginity, and on a 48-hour session. Also, as you hear me talk about Nick in this one, you're yet to see his face, but you will shortly, as he basically comes fishing with me and just catches more than me all the time, so you see him a lot on this YouTube channel. Now let's move on to March, which started off slow for spring. However, what I can only describe as an unbelievable night of non-stop action. It's safe to say this was a very productive month for me.
Well, after 2 moves, so I spent the first night on peg 1 on the front leg, and then I did a couple of hours on peg 11 on the front leg, and I just moved over here to finish the session off with my mate Nick as a bit of a social. And this one has just braced the net. 12 pound, lovely, full mirror, full leather should I say, almost. Got a few scales just on its ridge. Showed just off the spot, no more than 5 minutes later, the right hand rod had ripped off, slipped over the net to a Northern Special red wafter on an Illusion D-rig. Let's get this one back, hopefully we can get some more out. And next time I will be out will be next week. Hopefully I'll have my dog with me, so yeah, trying to train him to be a fishing buddy, so we'll see how that works. And it's we're going to be out for 2 nights, so fingers crossed he doesn't bark too much and you'll get to meet Jasper. See you soon. Good morning, it's the 21st of March, and as I said, today I'm joined by my fishing buddy. His first trip out. It's pretty good. When I get the rods out, start casting around, he just goes and sits on the bed there. But other than that, he's got a little ground spike in, a little lead attached to it. The rules are he has to stay on the lead, so that's the caveat to it. He's on the lead and he's still got free roam. Yeah, I thought at first it was a little bit hard work trying to set up with him here, but then once I got the ground spike in and started chucking the rods out, he didn't want anything to do with the rods, so which is good. So there's no chance of him getting hooked while you're casting or in your way while you're casting, because he's just not interested. As I said, he's just been sat there in the sun. So yeah, we'll see how today's session goes. We've got 2 on the spot out by the island at 15 wraps, and we'll see how that goes. Cold night last night, so the water temperature should heat up now. So fingers crossed. And I'm going to keep my eye out in the shallows to my left and see if anything happens there. See you later. Jasper's now just waiting for his morning snack. Here it is in the form of a dentist stick. Sit. Got my morning brew on. Jasper's just been chilling out with us. So yeah, it's looking good. Leave it. See how long he'll do this for now. So yeah, I've not had to tell him off much. He did a little bark as someone went past. So far so good. Like I said, he doesn't really like the rods, so when the rods come out, he gets on the bed, so he stays out of the way. So yeah, so far so good. We'll see what happens tonight. Go on then. Good boy. Well, the bream have started, so it's not a blank, but it's not exactly what we're after. But it is a good sign that the bream have started to feed. So hopefully some carp move onto the spot now. We'll see. Good morning, guys. Successful night, not on the fishing front, but Jasper, however, that's his first night done. Well. What have we got here? A little beauty waiting in the sack for some pictures. Just in the shingles, sorry, the dot islands there. It was my most likely rod to go off to a double sweet corn. So we'll get it out and have a look at her. So as I mentioned just then, left hand rod in the dot islands, ripped off, pretty locked up, so the rod tip bent round, and we hooked into this. 1 second. Weighing 17 pounds, not quite a PB. Fell to double corn on a D-rig. Happy days. Go on, madam. Away you go. Nice. Well, now that the dust settled after that carp, I've also had a bream on the right hand rod, which is fishing out to the island, in between like a dot island and the actual island. So kind of like a runway. But yeah, Jasper's chilling in the sun. Just quickly made up some more bait, and we are now good to go for the rest of the day. Hopefully we can get some more on the bank. It's just gone lunchtime, been trying to get a nap, and this little beauty ripped off. Just unhook it in the net, sorry. I'm going to slip it back and try and get some more. So that's 2 breamer on the right hand rod now. So again, that's looking good for a bite. I slip it back, get the rod back out there. As you can see, just fishing some chopped boilies, 18mm and 16mm chopped boilies, and fishing a D-rig with some slow sinking corn. So not much, half a scoopful of bait, and I'm just going to ship it back out now. This is turning out to be quite a productive day session, to be honest. Yesterday was cold in the morning, whereas last night it didn't drop that cold, so that could be why. But yeah, both rods are on the double corn. Right hand rods had 2 breams, left hand rods had the carp. Just put them back out, and hopefully, you know, it's looking like it could be a very good session today. Currently 7:10, just chilling out with Jasper, and we've got another bream. As you can see, it's quite a lump. It's nearly 9 o'clock. I'm getting plagued by a bream, even though I said, yeah, it's good. We've had 4 in the last 2 hours, but I know if I keep persevering, a carp will come along to that spot. That's the one that's at the island, in between that and kind of like a little tiny dot island, so just at the mouth of the channel. And that's the one where we lost the carp. So yeah, it's all still working well. Well, what do we have here? Nice chunky one in the net. Gonna get it out and get it weighed. Still loads of time left during the night. So I've currently got one in the net, and I'm also playing one. It was a double take. I just went to get the one out of the net and put it in the sling to weigh it, and then the right hand rod's ripped off as well. So I'm currently playing a fish, and I got one in the net. As I was saying, there's two in the net. Double take. Let's have a look at them. Nice big common. I think the common's the bigger one, and then a mirror. So we fought our way through the bream, and at around 11 o'clock ish, maybe 10 to quarter to, left hand rod went. As soon as I got it in the net, went to get the sling, the right hand rod went, and we're into a double take. I have weighed them both, and this is a new PB for me. The second one is anyway, the first one just under, and you know, lake campaign PBs as well, personal and campaign. So let's have a quick look at the first one. This is the first one, I mean 18, beautiful mirror, big scales on it. Again, fell to sweet corn, or double sweet corn, the slow sinking corn, on a D-rig. As I said, I was plagued by bream and I just persisted, and I've been rewarded with doing that. So yeah, that is the 18.5. Let's put this one back. Let's have a look at the other one. So this big boy is a new PB, weighing at 22 and 6 ounces. Lovely common. First common I've had out of this lake. Again, same tactic. Live system chop boilies, bit of amino 365, and then double slow sinking corn on a D-rig. What a night this has turned out to be. Get some stills of these, then we'll put them back. So the rod by the main island has gone off again to this little beauty. Once it starts wriggling around, I'll be able to show you. Weighed it, 18 pound on the dot. This lovely common, belly stuffed, so it must have just proper been chowing down on the chop belly that's out there. Right, see, it's calmed down enough now. So you have a look. Nope. Didn't put up much of a fight, that's why it's a bit restless now. Well, 18 pound on the dot. Feisty little thing, now it's on the bank, and didn't put much of a fight up out there. Same rod by the island. Same tactics, chop, live system, double corn. We're on the fish tonight. Let's get some stills and put it back. Well, 3:30 in the morning and the action is still going. Again, the right hand rod seems to be the one that's producing everything at the minute. And what we have in the sling is a nice looking common. Let's have a look at it. This is weighing 19.5 pound. So this would have been my equal in PB if I hadn't have already broke it already this evening, or this morning should I say. there we are, 19.5 pound, 3:30 in the morning. The tactic's still working, so we're just going to carry on fishing. Hopefully we can get some bigger ones. I lost one earlier, I'm not sure why, it just came off. But yeah, 3:30, let's get this one back and carry on fishing. It's just gone 5 o'clock in the morning. The rods are still producing. What an unbelievable session, or what an unbelievable night, should I say. It's like all of a sudden it just turned on. I think this is the 5th fish of the night. Yeah, this is a mirror now, weighing 21 pounds, so just see if we can get it up into the video. There we go. 21 pound mirror, 5 o'clock in the morning. Man, this session, I would never have even dreamed of this session on this lake. But I've been putting the hours in recently and it's all paid off for tonight. Let's get some stills and I'll put it back. Well, that is the end of that session, and what a session it was. That's fair enough. 9 runs, 6 landed, lost 3. Yeah, unbelievable. That's it for March on the club campaign.
I think you'd all agree that March was a very good month. So at this stage in the campaign, I believe I've cracked the lake with the swim choices, the bait application. However, I needed to slow the bream down. A few more tweaks were necessary at this point. I'm not too sure what happened in April. Maybe I needed a break from that one off session. That's the only thing I can think of. But when I sit down and actually think about it, I fished a few matches and I taught my nephew how to catch carp off the surface on a local lake. So yeah, all good. Let's take a look at my very first carp match. So this was QE1, so qualifying event 1. It was held up north at Old Mill Lakes, the Oak Lake. This has to be some of the worst weather conditions I've probably ever fished in.
Firstly, we took a walk around the lake to get a better idea of the swims. Then, straight into the draw.
Toby. Last time you got before 12 the corner one. Yeah. Go right over there. 10. 10. Is that where he is? That's the middle one with a bit more water in it.
Yeah. No, he's on 11.
Yeah, so he's side. No, he's got half on nice.
You didn't want to worry something? I'll have 9.
Oh yes. Get 8. Yes, lads.
As you would have heard, I came out second and went for swim 9. Now we needed to load up the barrels and make our way to the swim. Good morning. As you would have just seen, I came second or third, I think, in the draw. Picked peg 9, and here we are. Bit of a cold and miserable setup. The wind's got a crosswind coming in. Found a bit of a clearish spot, so it's a slight bit of gravel. It's all sand and clay, so to find that was a little bit lucky. Fishing out about 13 wraps out, and yeah, trying to spom in this weather with the crosswind, as I just said. is quite difficult, so we've got a bit of a lateral spread rather than a tight knit spot. We're fishing 2 on the spot, Northern Specials, 1 red, 1 yellow. See which one, see whatever happens first. Yeah, now we're fishing. Current situation, we're in a blizzard. It's snowing like mad. As you can see, the snow's coming into the bivvy. Oh, what a time to be alive. Something that I'd never witnessed before was an underarm use of the spod rod. Big shout out to Matthew Cooney. During the last night, I was rudely awakened not by a bite or a run, but by Rob telling me that he had caught a fish. I 100% did not believe him due to everything that we'd seen over the last few days, but he persisted to tell me. So I got in my bed to be greeted by Rob's stunning 30-pound 6-ounce common sat in his net. Rob then openly admits that this common is indeed a new PB, but due to the conditions we agreed that he was a bucket. Look at that beauty. So maybe on the next QE we will get him. Happy days. Good morning. Only person to have one out last night was Rob next to me in peg 8. 30-pound 6-ounce common. Everyone else has been motionless. There's about 45 minutes left. Just started packing all the stuff away, and we'll just leave the rods out, wait for the klaxon really. But yeah, it's been a good experience overall, and probably when I get home I'll do an overview of my experience. But yeah, Rob's 30-pound 6-ounce common looks like it's for the win really. Everyone else gets a point for turning up. He'll get 5 points for winning the match, and it all goes towards the ICC, so Intercore Championships.
Now the match season is in full swing, with QE2 being the next outing before I could get back to Stillwater. Qualifying event 2 takes me up north again to Sandpit Lake, and this is part of the Westmore Farm Fishery complex, and I must say the swims there are probably the best swims that I've ever fished from. They're immaculate. You've got picnic bench, you've got fully metal structures naming the swims. The swims are all mapped out. Honestly, one of a kind. I don't think I've ever seen it anywhere else either. Let's have a look at that.
We're just here to start QE2 for the RSC season. What time is it now? 10 to 6 in the morning. We're just about to set up all the pegs. As you can see there, the lads coming around with the peg markers. So just going to go quick walk around, get the peg set up for the boys. Here he is. Well, now that it's settled down, as you would have seen from the draw, I came out second, which was an absolute, I couldn't, well, obviously I could have gone better, I could have come first, but I went for Chloe's peg, which in how we've pegged it up is peg 6, and I'm really pleased with it. As soon as I tipped up, there's a fish show in front, and during the night, yesterday when we did our walk around, so we was been here quite a few hours because we stayed last night. So we did a walk around last night a couple of times, and every time we'd come around there was fish in this margin on the right hand side. So I've got a bit, a rig down there, and on the left when I've got a bit of an island in front of me, I'll show you the swim later. I've got an island over to my left hand side, and I'm fishing just off that 9 wraps out. The island is probably 11 wraps, so 9.5, just under 9.5 wraps, and that's just fishing at the minute a little Northern Special wafter with a mesh bag on there, or a PVM mash, whatever it is, ball, whatever you want to call them, is on there. Just at the minute, I'm just trying to fish for a bite. To be fair, I don't really want to fill it in just yet, and that's not my type of fishing anyway. So if the bites start to come, then I'll give them a little bit more bait than what I would just off a mesh bag. So the rain's held off, and it's still relatively warm out there. So as I said, I'll go through the swim. So straight away, a lovely feature. Each swim's got a big post with a name on it. So this is Chloe's, obviously, as you can read. As I pan round, you'll see my bivvy. That's a Frontier XD, barrow next to it, and like a picnic bench. Onto probably a place for another bivvy, so I believe this could be a double swim. And as I come down, so we've put our own peg numbers in, so peg 6 as you've seen. And as I come round over here, really nice feature. So not only do you have somewhere to hang your scales, the cradle and the sling are supplied. That's my net and my scales, so yeah, you don't need to bring any of that. But one of the best features, and I've never seen this on any other lake, so it just highlights the rules to you. And not only that, then it maps out your swim, your boundaries, and then the contours within your swim. So if you don't really need to find depth, it's all there. If you want to, then you can go ahead and do that. However, there's no need to do that. So as I mentioned before, if you can see here, it kind of goes in slightly and it drops off quite sharp. So I've kind of got a rig roughly there, and then also I've got a rig roughly here. So what that looks like in the water then is this island and almost roughly there. So it's like 9.5 wraps for in this area here. And as I pan around to that, that's still my water. And if I come around to the right hand side, if I look down the margin, I've got a rig probably just, let's focus on my finger instead. Just lock that on. So I've probably got a rig just there. So a few handfuls of my mix in there, and then put a rig down there on a mesh bag. So yeah, that's the peg, that's the swim, that's where the traps are set. As you can see, beautiful lake. This came to the right hand rod in the margin. As predicted, a couple of little beeps early on in the session, and then all of a sudden just absolutely ripped off. Nearly pulled the rod round. Not massive, but look at it for a fish. 10 pound on the nose. Get this one back, try and get some more. Well, just thought I'd pop on, give you a little update. You see me have that fish on the same rod. I've had 2 bream, and I've lost a fish. So just got round to Clay. Is ripped off. It's called me over so we can mark it down officially. Hooked into a lovely 17 pounder.
Happy days, first fish off to mark. Didn't expect it really, it's been quiet all day. There's only a couple of fish come out of the lake, but yeah, this is the biggest one of the, well, second biggest of the QE2 qualifier, but yeah, lovely mirror. I didn't think it was that big from the start, but then when you seen it, it was a nice big chunk and that, but yeah, happy days. Get in, you banger. Come on. And tell Uncle Johnny Boy to go on, lad. Go on, son, get away. Happy days.
Lovely. Good morning, guys. Just thought I'd jump on and give you a little update. As you would have seen, Carp run a Clayton. Caught one last night, and then there was one more come out at £23 over in Viva's peg. That was the peg least likely to catch, to be fair, because it's just got deep water, so it came from the margin. Clayton's was 17 and the one from Viva's was 23. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fish come out now. Sadly, mine was the lightest, so at the minute I'm in last place of the people that I've caught. Still looking good for a bite, you know. I'm still getting liners on that right on rod, and almost instantly from getting off the camera to you just, Clay shouted over me that Reese, the person next to me, is in. So we're just going to walk over and see what he's doing. He's just playing it now. We'll try and get some footage of him playing it. So as I said, I've just come over to Reese's peg now and he's playing it. He says he caught it from out in the middle. I thought it might have been one of his margin rods. See if you can see it. There we go. First common of the match, I believe. Good work, man. It's the one. Finally. Oh, she's a corker. It's wide, that, you know. What's your initial estimate?
I don't know. We'll have to find out, won't we?
Lovely. Current scores of the doors on the QE2 going into the last night. Got Reese to my left on 54.1, Nick across the lake on 52, Ant on 37, H on 23, then you've got Clay on 17, Callum on 14. It looks like Callum's into a fish as we speak, and then you got me on 10. So fingers crossed going into tonight. A couple of big fish or a couple of decent fish could put me back in with a running. Still all to play for.
Came out of the draw fairly high, so I jumped straight into the swim. The next swim available on my list, so I think I maybe picked my second or third choice swim. That's where I'd seen him during the night, and when we got there we had a little walk around, and that's where I'd seen some fish. So set up, and then boom, first bite of the match. Landed a small mirror. I thought I had the match absolutely nailed in my favour at that point. However, just didn't happen, and I got plagued by bream for the rest of the session. I think I must have caught into 10 bream, easy. And that was the end of that, really. Finally, after what felt like months away from still water with the weather warming up, I just had to make a return and continue to chip away at the lakes. Let's take a look.
Good morning, guys. You join me back out on the bank on the club water. I haven't fished it for a good few weeks now. I think it's the 6th of May, 7th of May, something like that. So I haven't fished it since the beginning of April, where I did a bit of a social with my mate. So yeah, just getting back out on the bank now. And I'm set up in peg 16, where I was when I had the flurry of fish. I got one rod out on the island, and I've just looked to my right, and there's fish all up in the high up in the water column to my right. So I'm gonna chuck out a zig just within that general area. I've never caught a fish on a zig, so I don't have much confidence, but no time like the present, and I can see them. You know, failing that, maybe a controller float with some pellet or ball of maggots or something like that, as I've not got any sort of floating bait with me. So that's the plan for today. You're not going to believe what's just happened. Left rod ripped off on the corner of an island, struck into it. It was just flat rodding me, going. Tried to stop it, couldn't stop it, and it's cut me off just on the edge. So one run, one loss. Right, I'm going to re-rig this rod and get it back out there. And it felt nice. Didn't feel like slowing down at all. So absolutely gutted, but that's what fishing is about. Let's try again. Well, I've just finished my brew and thought I'd show you the spot where I'm fishing. So as you can see, it's like the edge of an island. I was fishing just beyond that. So as the fishers took the bait, it's gone round to the left, round the back, and I just couldn't get it back round, and it snapped me off on that low-hanging tree, I believe. I retrieved the lead, which is good, so it's just got a hook in its mouth. So yeah, fingers crossed that can come out safely. But the main thing is that the weight, I still had the lead, which is good. I've got the waders on, which can only mean one thing. As predicted, the left rod went again. Quickly made my way in to the water to stop it from going round, and we've got a lovely scaly one. Gonna quickly get the rod back out, and then we'll get it out and have a look at it. This could potentially be another PB. I'm not too sure. My PB is only £22. But looking at it, it's really wide, so it could well be. Right, let's get the rod back in and sort it out. Well, there we have it. After losing two, well, one properly won, and then second one struck into nothing. Third time lucky, I suppose. I got straight into the waders, straight in the water. And as soon as it was out in open water, I knew we just had to take it easy and bring it back in, bring it home. So yeah, lovely looking scaly one, caught on the double sweet corn, or the fake corn as always. The tactic hasn't changed even coming into summer, still the same, and it's still producing bites. So get this one back now and try and get some more on the bank. There's been a little bird found in a tree, stuck on some lines. The bailiff's gone out in the boat and rescue it. All in a day's work. On another note though, probably last half an hour, bivvy's away, stuff's more or less all packed, ready to go. Final knockings, gents. See if we've got a take.
It's really nice to see the bailiffs reacting to concerns of the anglers, as you've seen. Then the bailiff went out and saved it was a coot or something that was trapped by some fishing line in the trees, so that's good work. And then after toying with some zigs throughout the year with little results or no confidence whatsoever, in June this method would catch me the biggest fish of my angling journey / career, whatever you want to call it, to date. And